YouTube has completely cemented its spot as the new king of entertainment, with most kids who grew up in the last 10 years idolizing YouTubers way more than pop and movie stars. And along with that level of admiration often comes some serious earnings on par with and even exceeding the biggest celebrities in the world. While we're getting awesome free entertainment, the people on the other side of the screen could be making amounts that would make most people's heads spin. I'm talking more in a day than most people make in an entire year. It's seriously mind-blowing, and that's why today we're letting you take a peek behind the YouTube curtain to get an idea of just how much some of the most popular entertainers of this generation are actually making. Ready to have your mind blown? Let's get it on! Logan Paul. One of the most well-known names in all of YouTube, for better or for worse. No one can deny that Logan Paul is absolutely killing the game at just 25 years old. Originally starting out on Vine, Logan has had a sticking power that few other veterans of the now-defunct platform can come close to claiming. While many people had some negative views of Logan for a few years, in recent times he's turned his public perception around in a way that's never been seen before in the history of YouTube, and gained not just a ton of new subscribers, but the respect of a whole lot of people. Sometime in 2019, Logan switched up almost everything in his content, focusing on making more engaging and entertaining works for all ages, and he couldn't have done a better job. These days, the American vlogger, podcaster, and highest-earning loser in the history of celebrity boxing easily pulls in about 5.4 million views a day, which adds more than $16,200 to his already hefty net worth, bolstered by his legendary earnings from his boxing matches with KSI. Of course, Logan's Maverick merch and other businesses rake in huge sums of cash every day, but that doesn't dissuade him from continuing to make content for his channel. And with earnings of more than $5.8 million a year, who would ever want to stop? PawDiepie. Standing as the undisputed king of YouTube, with the largest non-corporate channel on the entire platform by a massive margin, is the Swedish slaughterer of water sheep, Felix Kjellberg, or as most people know him, PawDiepie. Beginning to upload gameplay videos in 2010 when the trend was still pretty much unheard of on YouTube, PawDiepie has uploaded a video a day for over 10 years straight, only recently starting to take weekend breaks. Along the way, he managed to become the first YouTuber to ever earn the 50 million and eventually the 100 million subscriber play buttons, an honor we probably won't see another person receive for close to another decade. With the kind of passionate and dedicated audience his approachable and humble personality has amassed, it's obvious that he's the poster child for YouTube millionaires for a reason. On average, Felix amasses more than 10.6 million views on any given day, which brings in about $30,600 daily. And that's just from views on his videos. He's also got merch, a fashion line called Suki, mobile games, and what have to be the most expensive sponsored videos on the platform. Still, even if we don't take all those clearly huge sources of income into account, PawDiepie's channel pulls in at least $11 million every year. Not bad for a college dropout who had to sell hot dogs to support himself not too long ago. Dobrok. One of the original kings of vlogging, David Dobrok seems to have the ultimate dream life that just keeps getting better and better somehow. Aside from befriending the star of his favorite TV show, David has made quite a name for himself through his extremely charitable attitude towards his friends, to whom he's given away more than 20 cars, and we're not talking Corollas and Civics here. However, if you think he's giving away Teslas and Lambos for free, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. But his Surprising My Friend With series is one of the biggest hits on his massive 17+ million subscriber channel, which means they're also his biggest earners. Even if he isn't uploading one of his massive philanthropic feats, however, David easily pulls in more than 6.3 million views a day on his vlogs. And numbers like that mean that even a bad day for the Slovakian-born YouTuber means making at least $18,900. As one of the most well-known YouTubers in the world, David's also got money coming in from merch, promotions, and live events. But just from the revenue of his main channel, he earns more than $6.8 million a year, and that is a whole lot of Teslas to give away. Mr. Beast. Hailing from a small city in North Carolina, Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, fully embodies the YouTube fantasy. Growing up idolizing YouTubers and trying for years with no success to make it big himself, eventually, Jimmy invented what would become the most popular trend in YouTube history at only 18 years old: YouTube philanthropy. By posting videos of himself either spending or giving away crazy sums of money, Jimmy's videos absolutely dominated YouTube's trending page over and over over, launching his channel to over 34 million subscribers and, let's say inspiring an entire generation of copycat channels. As his channel grew, so did the acts of charity he could pull off, like making a free car dealership or tipping a pizza guy with an entire furnished house. Now, to go from giving a homeless man $10,000 cash to upgrading an entire homeless shelter, there must be some serious leaps in earnings, and trust me, there were. Mr. Beast's channel regularly pulls in over 8 million views daily, earning him more than $24,000 on a daily basis. On top of that, based on his own words, the average sponsorship for just one of his videos is between $100,000 and $250,000. Even if we don't account for his merch line, which is probably one of the most popular on YouTube, Mr. Beast's channel earns over $8.64 million a year from views alone. At least we know he'll be doing a lot of good with all that money. ZHC. Sitting right on the edge of an incredible 12 million subscribers and growing, ZHC is an artsy YouTuber who seems to have come out of nowhere to those who stumble upon his videos, only to find the absurd amounts of money he puts into them, regularly pulling off insanely charitable stunts like customizing Lamborghinis or Teslas and giving them to other huge YouTubers has allowed those creators' audiences to flow in ZHC's subscriber base, giving him one of the best formulas for success on the platform to date. But he isn't just generous to his colleagues. In fact, in most of his videos, ZHC will give away super costly prizes to random subscribers, like 50 new iPhones in just one video or 50 iPads in another. With incentives like those, it's no wonder his subs and views always skyrocketing. Of course, to be able to afford such lavish stunts, you've got to be pulling in some serious cheddar, and ZHC isn't exactly paying for those custom Teslas with his credit card. On an average day, ZHC's channel amasses over 3.5 million views, which brings in at least $10,500 every day. Of course, on top of those numbers, he's got massive sponsorship deals and a huge merch line that he and his creative friends designed themselves. Even if we ignore those massive money generators though, ZHC earns an incredible $3.78 million a year just from views on his YouTube channel. Now that's a whole lot of iPhone 11 giveaways. KSI. One of the biggest legends to emerge from the YouTube landscape, KSI has more than earned his reputation for lavish spending, having earned a rumored $10 million from his 2 boxing matches with Logan Paul. At 26, the British vlogger wasn't quite ready to retire and continued uploading not just to his main channel, but also to his more frequently updated second channel during the build-up to both fights, and he's only picked up in uploads since then. Known for regularly getting into crazy scenarios that often involve hyper-expensive jewelry, famous rappers, and Dragon Ball Z references, it's no surprise that he holds an audience of over 30 million subscribers between his 2 channels. As of 2020, JJ seems to be focusing more on his second channel, and it isn't surprising why. The channel regularly receives more than 3.1 million views a day, which nets him over $9,300 daily, and that's not even counting all his music, merch lines, live shows, and of course, the multi-million-dollar YouTube grudge matches. Uploading videos that center around his popular personality and that are more intimate than his main channel videos, it's crazy to think that he brings in more than $3.34 million a year just from what's essentially a side hustle. Still, he might make that in a single night the next time he picks up his boxing gloves. LaserBeam. With Fortnite being one of the biggest games in the world right now, it's no surprise to learn that the free-to-play game has seriously set up some major YouTube millionaires. Take LaserBeam, for example. Originally rising to prominence from his early Fortnite gameplay videos, the Australian gamer has since branched out to other types of videos, but always comes back to his bread and butter to the tune of millions of views. Along the way, Laser managed to stack up over 13 million subscribers, which is certainly nothing to scoff at. And while the biggest gaming tournament winnings of all time were $3 million from a Fortnite tournament, those stats might have to be seriously adjusted if you take into account the earnings of YouTubers like LaserBeam. On average, he pulls in over 9 million views every single day, which in ad revenue alone earns him over 27 grand daily, or about a brand new Tesla every 2 days. As if that kind of money weren't enough, Laser, like many other YouTubers, has a very successful merch line and gets paid tens of thousands of dollars for sponsorships on a single video. Even if we aren't taking all that into account, however, LaserBeam's annual earnings are still more than enough to make your head spin at over $9.7 million a year, and those are US dollars, which are worth more in Australia. Maybe I should give gaming videos a go. Jelly. Who would have thought that pranking your friend in a bunch of different video games could be one of the most profitable jobs in the world? Well, with a very impressive 17+ million subscriber channel, apparently Jelly did, this YouTuber has been absolutely crushing it in the gaming sphere for years and shows no signs of slowing down, regularly finding new and honestly exhaustive ways of pranking his friend Slogo Man in pretty much every game around. Oh my god! Jelly has found a formula that just can't stop bringing in mountains of views. On any given day, Jelly's channel receives an unbelievable 15.5 million views, which nets him a cool $46,500 on what's just a regular Tuesday for most of us. That's about what the average American makes in a year, and yeah, that's impressive. But when you think about what that means annually, Jelly pulls in a handsome 16.74 million just by sitting back and goofing around playing video games. Maybe now you can prove to your parents that gaming isn't a waste of time after all. Preston. Originally starting out in the gaming sphere, Preston's channel really started picking up steam when he switched over to making challenge videos, and well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Preston has managed to grow his channel's audience to an impressive 13 million subscribers, or about the population of New York City and Los Angeles combined. He regularly puts his friends and family up to odd challenges to win thousands of dollars, but the competitors aren't the only ones raking in the cash from these videos. While some of his greatest hits have nearly 20 million views, on an average day, Preston pulls in nearly 5 million views on his channel, which gains him about $14,700 every single day, which is a whole lot more than he gives away in a single challenge video. Like most YouTubers of his size, Preston pushes his merch line pretty consistently, and while that's sure to bring in a ton of dough, from views on his channel alone, the 26-year-old earns an extraordinary $5.29 million a year, or enough to take more than 20 tickets to outer space on the first space tourism launches. I guess you could say his earnings are out of this world. Unspeakable. With a name like Unspeakable, it's pretty ironic that this guy's generated so much buzz online. After grinding to try to make it as a YouTuber for over 10 years, Unspeakable finally broke out by creating crazy, elaborate videos where he does things like convert his entire house into a beach or build a whole indoor water park. That's sure to get the neighbors speaking about you. To date, he's amassed more than 6.7 million subscribers, and his audience seems really dedicated because the views on his videos are usually pretty close to his entire sub count, something that's actually pretty uncommon for bigger YouTubers. Through his insane household antics, Unspeakable manages to drive over 7.8 million sets of eyes to his videos every single day, which in ad revenue alone generates more than $23,400 every day, or about an iPhone every hour to put in perspective. Of course, Unspeakable also makes money from selling merch, sponsorships on videos, a huge gaming channel, and tons of other secretive avenues that are, well, unspeakable. But while we can only guess at his total annual income, just his main YouTube channel's views earn him an insane $8.42 million a year, which is more than most CEOs make.
What?
Now that's an unspeakable amount of money. Okay, no more bad puns, I promise.